How's it going? Welcome to today's frog-tastic episode of the Technicolor Mike B Show. We are live here on YouTube, and we are continuing our animals from A to Z with F is for frog. Yes, trying to do that frog face. I think it was somewhat successful. It's hard to fit a frog onto a person's face. So what exactly is a frog? Well, and what is the difference between a frog and a toad? I am glad you asked. Frogs have long legs, longer than their head and body, and they are made for hopping. Toads have shorter legs and prefer to crawl around rather than hop. Frogs have a more smooth, somewhat slimy skin, and toads have dry, warty skin. But there are exceptions to those rules, so they say that there is disagreement among scientists sometimes over this something's more a frog or a toad. What's the difference? So I don't think I ever really think about the fact that frogs don't actually begin their life as frogs. So yeah, frogs will lay their eggs in water, and the eggs hatch into aquatic larvae called tadpoles. The tadpoles have a tail and internal gills. At that point in time in their life, they don't have legs. They don't have lungs either. As a frog tadpole matures, it gradually develops its limbs, with the back legs starting first and the front legs coming second. And their tail is absorbed into their body. So it's not quite like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. They don't go into a cocoon. It's more of a gradual process of swimming around in the water, and eventually their gills are covered over with skin, so they can't breathe underwater anymore. They have to start coming up for air, and instead of just the tail pushing them around, they have legs that can push them around, and eventually they leave the water and come out on the ground and start hopping around. So their life cycle is complete when they finish the metamorphosis into the adult frog. And most of them will eat insects and other small creatures. Although I guess there are some species of frogs that are more just herbivore and will feast on just the plants and algae and stuff like that. So, what are some places that frogs have entered our pop culture? Well, there's that old story about kissing a frog and having it turn into a handsome prince. That concept from the fairy tales and folklore was introduced by the Brothers Grimm in their fairy tale, The Frog Prince. And I think when it comes to pop culture, the main frog that I think of is Kermit the Frog from both Sesame Street and The Muppet Show. So Kermit the Frog made his first appearance May of 1955 on the premiere episode of Sam and Friends. And they said that Kermit the Frog was created from a discarded turquoise coat that belonged to Jim Henson's mother. and 2 ping pong ball halves for eyes. And they said that initially he was a lizard-like creature. He wasn't initially considered a frog. He made several appearances on different shows after his first appearance and role on Sam and Friends. But he was established as a frog in 1969. So yeah, it's been out for 15 years before people realized, hey, that Kermit guy, he is a frog, he's not a lizard, he's an amphibian. So they decided he was a frog on the TV special Hey Cinderella in 1969. So the Muppet character of Kermit the Frog was originally created by and performed by Jim Henson. And he was one of the main Muppet characters on Sesame Street when it started on air. Sesame Street aired on 1969. And one of the interesting facts that I read was that the Kermit the Frog character was never part of the property of the Sesame Workshop, that Jim Henson maintained ownership of Kermit the Frog, and as a result, there are very few items of the Sesame Street memorabilia and merchandising that will actually include the Kermit the Frog character because they did not own rights to Kermit. Jim Henson maintained those rights. But here is our hopping frog, and he could be put on a hat so you could wear him. I think I made his legs maybe a little bit too long. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Marker, marker. So after Sesame Street, another place that Kermit became famous was on The Muppet Show. And apparently there are a few Muppets that crossed over between both Sesame Street and The Muppet Show, but Kermit was the primary one that was featured prominently on both shows. And Kermit is known to be a rather good singer, and as a matter of fact, his performance of Rainbow Connection reached number 25 on the Billboard Hot 100. So yeah, it's hard to believe a Muppet character can have a song that reaches 25 on the charts. I guess the Chipmunks also have some songs. I don't know too many other fictional characters that really have been big on the music scene. And I guess the other place I think of frogs is that old arcade game from the 1980s, Frogger. Yes, I remember playing Frogger on my Atari system when I was a kid. So Frogger was developed by Konami and manufactured by Sega. And if you haven't been around long enough, you didn't play Frogger as a kid, there's two parts of the screen. The bottom half of the screen is a road, and you have to navigate the frog across the streets, dodging cars and trucks and bulldozers and other speeding vehicles going every which direction who might smash that frog, making it roadkill. It gets halfway across the screen, and it's only halfway to its destination. It's at the median, and above that point is the water portion with a river and logs and alligators and other things going by, and it has to hop from log to log or on the back of an alligator, avoiding the mouth so it doesn't get eaten, and up to the top of the screen. So yeah, that was a fun game. I remember we played it quite a bit on our Atari system when I was a kid. But yeah, I guess I don't remember. I guess the levels just got harder every time you finished a level. The cars went faster. The alligators snapped more frequently, or whatever. So it just, every level was a little bit harder. But it was the same. It was the same concept, level after level, of moving your frog across the street, into the river, into the top of the screen, and repeat that at the next level. So, to me, those are your primary places that I think of frogs in culture. The kissing the prince, yes, kissing the frog and hope it's going to turn into the handsome prince, or I guess princess in some of the stories. Kermit the Frog, that famous Muppet from Sesame Street and The Muppet Show, and the arcade game Frogger. So yep. So what letter comes next? G. Could that be a goat or giraffe, or who knows what else is going to be G for our Animals A to Z series. So thanks for watching. Until next time, see you later. Alligator. After a while, crocodile. This has been Technicolor Mike B signing out.